Hello and welcome to this channel. I am Dynaimc. In previous tutorial, we have learned how to design this login form and also learned how to reference the password entered here with the one on the user sheet using VLOOKUP. Today, however, we are going to learn how to generate a more secure password that cannot be easily broken or guessed by anyone. We will be using the same method that we used in creating how to generate activation key for your Excel application. If you have not watched that tutorial, please do so, because that video continues to have lots of views, comments and suggestions from you, my ardent and cherished viewers. Thank you for subscribing and helping me to grow this channel. Thank you for your support and encouragement. I highly appreciate them and attach great importance to them. Tutorial on this playlist, Dynamic User Login, will be addressing most of your requests, concerns and questions based on the tutorial how to generate activation key for your Excel application. I will give further explanation on the function used in generating the keys and also address some questions based on the video. In short, this is going to be a Q&A session based on how to generate activation key for your Excel application. Here is a comment from a viewer which I'll be addressing in the next few tutorials. It says, "Hi, very useful idea with that Excel app. Will you be able to create a video where you use that app? For example, user has to generate password at the start. He has access to only one worksheet in the whole workbook. The rest is logged. Then when logged in, log in finally and the whole workbook is unlocked." So this is how I've structured my answer to the above question and request. We will learn how to generate password for our user login forms. The next video, we will give access to different user form after the login. The third one will be we will learn how to give access to different worksheets after the user has logged in. I'll be covering these steps in the next few videos. There will be more tutorials for you to follow and learn how you can completely use these methods in designing your Excel applications and software. So without wasting much time, let us get started. I am still using the file that I created in our last tutorial. So let us go to the developer tab and then click on Visual Basics. I'll need a new user form, so let me go to Insert and then click to insert a new user form. I'll drag and draw it out here. I need a text box, and for this text box I'm going to give it the name TXT length. Let me increase the font size to 14. I'll make a copy and paste. With this second box, I'm going to give it the name TXT username. Let me make a copy and paste again. So now we are having the third text box, and with that I'm going to give it the name TXT password. Now I have 3 text boxes which I'll be using. Let me stretch this one out. It will contain our password, and then this one also will contain our username. Then shrink this a little bit. I'll be needing a command button, so let me select one and then draw it out here. And with this, let me give it the name btn generate, with the caption also generate password. Let me increase the font size to, let's say, 18 and click OK. and let me run it to see. Okay, so this is how our application will be looking. Let me double click on generate password to write the code. I'll be declaring these few variables as variant, x as long, dim str as string. Since we'll be generating password, we would have to make sure that password strings that will be generated here should not be 0 or should not be empty. Then I would have to put a validation on this text box so that it checks the number of password character that will be generated here. Let me write an if statement for the validation. So if txt is equal to empty, then what should happen? I'm going to get a message box. The password and then exit sub. So that is the end of my if statement. Let me run it to see if. So if this is empty, I should be getting a message. Yes, the password string to be generated must be greater than 0. Let me put in a number here, and so it's not giving me the message again. Let's continue. Now my character bank will be equal to an array of characters. What is going to be my array? These are my array: A, and B, C, 1, 3, and then make a symbol. This is going to be the characters that will be in my array. I've limited to these few characters because I do not want it to become confusing. However, the number of characters that you write down here in the array and the way in which it is placed will greatly determine the way that the password will be arranged. Let's correct this. Okay, so then the next line of code will be str equal to str and the character bank into bracket integer int, then bracket character bank bracket u bound, then it will look through the character bank in the upper bound. So I'm going to subtract the lower bound of the character bank. And I will add 1 to it and bracket close. To complete the equation, I'll have to multiply through with the randomly generated characters in the lower bound or L bound. So it is going to be multiply RND plus, and then txt password will be equal to str. The txt password is now serving as the place where my generated password string will be stored or outputted. So let me run it to see, and this, then I must give it a value. Let me choose 5 and generate. However, I'm only getting one password character. This is also a comment that I got from the viewer saying that please help me because all the time password is showing AAA only the first letter. And if we look here, that is exactly what we are getting. Why are we getting one character as our password string? Let us go back into the code to see if there's an error in the code. Looking through the code, it appears that there's nothing wrong with it. However, the reason why we are getting just the first character being repeated is that because we did not write a loop to loop through this and then count the number of password character that is expected to be generated here. So let us go back and then write the loop. Now let's come here. For x is equal to 1 to txt t8, then next x. Let us run it once more again and input the character, then the number 5, and then let's generate the password. Now let us count to see if we indeed generated 5 characters as our password. So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We have indeed generated 5 characters. So let's count again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you see that we can now generate 5 characters as our password. Let us increase it to maybe 10 and see what happens. Okay, now we have an error here. Why are we having this error here? Let me break this line into 2. And let's continue. So we are having the error because we omitted one bracket here. So let's open a bracket, close it, then let's run it again. So we are having 3 characters. Let's generate, and then let's make it into 10. Now we are having 10 characters being generated as our password. 15, and then 20. So let's continue. If you want to add this form as part of your software for your users, what I would recommend you do is that you have to give this txt length a value. So let me click on this and come down here to give it a value of 15. Now whenever this application is run, the password to be generated will then be equal to 15. The next thing I'm going to do is to hide this text box. So let me click on it and then come down here and make it not visible. So visible false. Then it will be hidden whenever the user form is run. You see that it is no longer there, but a password will be generated as soon as we click on it. The number of password characters produced will be equal to the number that I specified in the tst length. Since I would want the username and password to be filled using the user form and stored on the worksheet, then let me write this code for it. The first thing I'll have to do is to declare a variable. So dim sh as worksheet, set sh equal to this workbook dot sheet. Which sheet am I referring to? I have named the sheet login. So let me then go back and say the sheet name is what? Login, and close. Okay. Then let me also declare the dim lr as long, and then lr will be equal to application dot worksheet function dot count a into sh dot range a is to a, and bracket close. sh dot range a and lr plus 1 dot value equal to txt user name dot value. So then the second one will be sh dot range b and lr plus 1 dot value equal to txt pass dot value. So now let us run it to see. Let's generate password for user Raphael. Okay, so now for user Francis, then for user Samuel. This is the password they would have to use in order for them to log into the system when using your software or workbook. So let me close it. There's one more comment and question that I would want to address before I end this video. The comment says and request says, "Hi, thank you for your useful video. I have a question. Could you please explain this step? The positive L band and character bank. I don't understand this function. Thank you in advance." To answer this question, I would want to use a mathematical equation to do that. So let me go back into the code, and here, so I'll be using this algebraic expression. Let me first of all comment it out and write, let's say we've been asked to look for str, which is equal to bracket x minus y plus 1, and then multiplied by positive y. This is how I have interpreted this code here. The u bound being the x, and then the L bound being the y, and then I'm also multiplying through by the L bound again. So in order for me to get a linear equation, I'll have to multiply through by positive y. So it is going to be y into x minus y plus 1 SCR will be equal to yx minus y raised to the power 2 plus y, which is why when we run the code we seem to having a linear equation, and sometimes a particular number will be repeating itself 2 times in the equation. With this explanation, I hope I've been able to address most of your concerns. If you still have more questions for me, please let me know in the comment section and I will gladly attend to it. Thank you for staying around and watching this tutorial to this end. Stay tuned and push on the notification button so that you will be the first to know when I release another tutorial in this series.